All right, I think we're up. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Tuesday Live at 4 with CLCI. We got a bit of a full house here, which we're excited for because that means everyone here gets to tell you guys out there what they're grateful for. And really, so that might be like the low hanging fruit, right? Is asking that question potentially. What you're grateful for, which I feel like we all kind of get a chance to answer on Thanksgiving. We may have a chance today to answer that, but what I want to ask is what the importance of gratitude is for all of you guys. Why do you guys think gratitude is so important? Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's not important. Maybe you don't need anything to be grateful for. You just run your life off of hatred and just keep on going.
Why is the opposite of gratitude hatred? Like why is like the alternative? Like it's either
I didn't say that.
One or the other.
I mean, it's incidental that I live my life off of hatred and spite. That doesn't mean I'm not grateful for things. I can be grateful and also be hateful at the same time.
I think you can be.
I would agree. So, do you guys believe in the importance of gratitude, being thankful, or do you guys believe that's just hogwash that just comes up around Thanksgiving? We just kind of say it just to seem like good people.
I'll let anybody take that one.
So gratitude is important for a lot of different reasons. I myself don't practice gratitude as probably as much as people probably should. I am not a good practitioner of it, but I can appreciate its value. Makes it easier to work with people, get to know people.
Explain why you don't practice gratitude. Please.
It's just like, we haven't even talked about what is gratitude, let alone if it's valuable or not.
But you don't practice gratitude. But you don't practice gratitude.
I mean, not as much as I probably should. But if you want to be happy and have a good life, then you should be grateful for things.
That doesn't work. That view doesn't work.
That one there.
Covering Charlie Brown. If you want to be happy,
Charlie Brown,
and you want to have good relationships with the people around you, then you should probably practice some gratitude. I myself, I don't care about that stuff, so I don't practice it. But studies have shown even if you are being somewhat insincere, I guess, but if you knowingly practice gratitude to be a grateful person, it still increases your happiness and still leads to a better sort of more positive outlook in life. So fake it till you make it.
So you touched on a point there. What is gratitude? Qu'est-ce que c'est? I mean, it doesn't have to be
answered. I've got my answer, but let's... What do you guys think gratitude is?
I think it's being able to recognize importance in your life, the things that make your life better, the things that you help others be better, participating. I put in the chat, a grateful heart. It's kind of the same thing. What is a grateful heart? It's that ability to tap into that loving emotion. To me, that's what that's about.
I want to say, I think gratitude, for the most part, is just a mindfulness of what you do have in front of you. And it's not really to say, this is, I think a lot of people use gratitude, and when that word comes up, there's a space of like comparison that also comes along with it. I don't think that has anything really to do with gratitude. I think gratitude, again, is you being mindful of what you have, being appreciative of the things that are in front of you. And really, honestly, I think the alternative of comparison is to kind of avoid that space and being in, sitting in with what you do have and what you can appreciate and what has been given to you.
What do you mean by comparison?
When it comes to gratitude, I feel like there's a lot of times where, and I could be totally wrong, but there have been instances where I see, a lot of people would like to, especially in the realm of social media, where it's so easy to compare every now and everything that you have, that maybe you work for something so long, you got yourself this brand new car you've been working on for a year, and then Sue down the street, or maybe Becky online
Freaking
or
Sue,
something like
man. It's always Sue down the street.
Yeah,
Sue
Got
Bowles, if you're
everything.
watching this, we're
not
on to
you,
you.
Sue, not you, Sue.
No, Sue.
These are anonymous names. These are surnames. So, somebody posts their brand new Tesla online or something like that, and that kind of, I feel like that diminishes the whole concept of what gratitude is. So that's what I mean.
I want to say that just because somebody posts their Tesla online does not mean that I can't be grateful. I can be grateful for them. I think that a big part of being grateful that comes with it is being humble, is a degree of humility. Like, you have to be willing to humble yourself in order to be grateful, because it's really about sort of being happy with not maybe what you have, but just being happy with what life has given you, essentially. And
Can you be grateful towards yourself, though?
yeah,
If we're talking about pride, it doesn't seem at first like you can be grateful to yourself, because then you're just being like self-gratifying and prideful, like, oh, good job me, I'm the best.
you should be, though, I think, to some degree.
Yeah, but what if, like, let's say you're working with a client and they're working on being grateful for the good things that they've done for themselves in the past that they may have overlooked before. That could be one example of being grateful, I guess, towards yourself, without while still practicing humility, I would say.
I think we can be proud of our accomplishments. We can be proud of the things we've done for our lives, for ourselves, and we can do so while still remaining humble. To some degree, I guess, kind of they don't go hand in hand, but I think that as long as you're not like taking credit for everything, like, but I don't know, maybe you should, though, because we say own your own stuff. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird slippery slope, but I do feel like if I'm going to be grateful for things outside of Broken Arrow Walters, that with that comes some humility and some being humble and being grateful for the things around me, and the people in my life, and the things that have helped me outside of just me. And maybe that's really what this is about. It's the gratefulness coupled with appreciation that I'm grateful for. What Thanksgiving is for others, and for the things that we don't necessarily have.
Here's a critique of gratitude. Okay. Maybe play devil's advocate. Does gratitude sometimes denote like debt or owing someone something?
It can. I would say so. I mean, that is a huge manipulation. That's a manipulative tactic.
You should be grateful that I was going to say
like
something.
Like, I've done all these things for you, so you need to be grateful that I'm.
Yeah.
You have to be grateful for me. And that's that gifts, giving gifts with strings attached kind of thing.
This is kind of a joke between me and my friends, but I'm just like, oh, you should be grateful I didn't punch you in the face right now. For no reason.
You've used that one before.
I could have punched you in the face, but I chose not to. So you should.
You should like me.
You should like me and be grateful for and you should owe me for not doing it. So maybe gratitude is sometimes used as a tactic by not so nice people in your life to get one over you. And you should recognize the difference between gratitude from owing you something and gratitude that's just freely given and there's no expectation of being paid back. It's just a form of goodwill, essentially.
I think it's multi-leveled in what you're speaking about. I mean, I'm not disagreeing at all. I think if somebody is saying that you owe them gratitude, there's a lacking that they're feeling about themselves, and the connection of a relationship for them to feel like they've got to tell you what to do, right? That telling of you is the disconnect of what we are to each other. So it could be an opportunity to really get into what we're grateful for with one another if we want to overcome that.
Or we're just like, I thought when I accepted that $3,000, I thought there were no strings attached.
Yeah. That's what I said to the government when they issued those business loans.
If I could ask a question as a coach, how do you show gratitude towards your client, or do you even show gratitude? Is it something that is to be expected, kind of like how Anthony was saying, held over your head? I told you all this stuff, you should be grateful. How does a coach express gratitude towards their client?
Well, I just include a tip into the amount that they pay me as gratitude, so that's how it goes.
I think that we have to be careful though in that space.
Yeah.
Because we are not supposed to be getting our clients to be working for that reward from us. They're supposed to be self-rewarding and self-validating. So I think that the best space to share that gratitude would be to be like, I'm going to send you a Thanksgiving card and say thank you for being my client. It's just like that. It's that good practices of business where like you do something nice for your clients, like send them an innocuous gift during the holidays and a thank you card with a picture of all your awkward staff on it, and that's what you do.
It could be a good marketing tool, expressing gratitude by reaching out and just saying, thank you for working with me, especially during these times, and even using it on social media. You don't have to direct it towards one person because snail mail is snail mail, but put a big thank you and just expressing gratitude to everyone that you've talked to.
I
would say that being said, thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
If you're watching right now, and if you took a sec to watch this after we close the stream, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you for watching.
So I think gratitude, just as we've been talking, is a good space to kind of hold. It can be real quick. It could be 1 minute of being mindful of the day that you've just had, but it's a good space to hold for yourself, to be grateful and writing down 1, 2, 3 items that you're grateful for. It could be small. It could be just that you woke up. It could be very simple, or it could be, that I've made it this far through all the challenges I've gone through.
So this brings me to a couple thoughts. I'm table one, but then we'll come back to it later because that's what I do. I force things on you guys. Well, on that note, what are things we take for granted?
I take you for granted. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, everybody does. Thank you. I'm just kidding.
What I take for granted, I'm really going to answer that. I take for granted that and still have appreciation and humility, humbleness. I take for granted because I know I have amazing people that I work with. I take for granted that Anthony knows his stuff, his ability to interact, provide his sense of humor. I take for granted because I know that's who he is. Brooke, I take for granted because how incredibly smart she is, how adaptable she is, the things that she brings a sense of humor to our presence, the joy and journey. Kyle brings a sense of calmness, I think I would say. I take for granted his calmness, his ability to adapt and think on the fly. Jerome, I take in that same vein as his ability to jump in and help and be able to think outside the box and connect with everyone in such a humble way. I look to learn more humbleness from him. I take those things for granted because I know that's who you are.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, I
Thank
think we're all
you.
Stopped everyone.
Grateful for the compliments. Things for taking for granted, I guess, is all of you, because you only realize you take something for granted when it's not there. And when one piece of our group, I guess, is missing, you really start to notice it and think, oh, wow, like I totally took this person for granted. Things don't work as smoothly when we're not all there working as a team. So yeah, it's easy, and I guess to be more general, it's easy for people in general to take for granted the people that they know, either work-wise or interpersonally, that make life so much smoother, and you only realize it until maybe it's too late sometimes.
So there's a tool that we're supposed to be giving out tools in this here stream. So there's a really tool I was reading, and there was funny moments when I was reading it, but that's just because of strange people who completely disagree with the tool altogether. But the tool is essentially, imagine what your life would be without something. So how can you use this and to be grateful and to going into Thanksgiving? Well, I'm sure all of us have like a family member that we are just not looking forward to, or maybe there's a dinner we don't want to, something about it that we're just like, oh, I'm dreading. So the activity to take this is to think about an element in that space that maybe you're grateful or excited about, or a person, and then remove that and wonder what it would be like if you never had that, if you don't have that, if that didn't exist, how would your life be different? And it may serve as a tool to help you then realize the good things that maybe this otherwise negative human being has brought, or situation or event you have to do, whatever it may be. Which brings me to another point, but we'll talk about that later. What do you guys? I mean, do you think that's a tool that would work for you, or? I think
for me,
you have to start out and think about something good within it. Like, you know, even if it's, are you thinking of everything bad? Take a moment, try to find the good, and then try to apply how that good has helped you and what it would be like not having it, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's super powerful. I think that's something that I try to utilize. I'm not the best at it, but when it comes to working out, you know, being grateful that I have, you know, a willing and able body. That's something that I feel like a lot of us take for granted.
We take for granted that the sun comes up every day.
That would have come up every day, no matter what.
With this tool, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I didn't put up the wrong tool, but I think you're talking about gratitude.
Exactly.
Okay. So yeah, with that, I mean, on the same note as far as working out is concerned, yes, it hurts. It hurts sometimes, but I think you have to remind yourself constantly, every time you try to get out there. Sometimes, you know, you have your good days where you get out there and it feels good. You know, you can just hop on it and destroy it. But there are days where you really don't feel like you can do it, and because again, it's sometimes a painful process. But reminding yourself of that one good thing, one of the good things about it is, you know, for me at least, it makes me feel really good. Helps me feel great. Helps my mind kind of stay sharp. And again, that's kind of counterfactually thinking about what initially is coming to me as, you know, potentially a painful, long, you know, hour out of my day experience, but to, you know, counterfact that with some positives is something I think is super powerful.
Walk, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gratitude that you can get out there and do that, and even have the ability to burn and have that muscle.
Yeah, that's. I didn't really get to answer that in the beginning, but I think gratitude is extremely important for that reason, as far as just motivation is concerned. And yes, I also mentioned there shouldn't be sometimes it shouldn't include, for me, gratitude. I don't think should always include the concept of comparison, but when it comes to that, you know, seeking some motivation, you kind of just looking around and realizing, being mindful that not everyone has the opportunity to do what you're doing. And for you to understand that and understand that you have the, you know, the scenario, you have the willpower, and not even just the will. Well, I wouldn't say the willpower, but you have the ability, the tools to do certain things that not everybody has a chance to do and wishes that they could do. For you to kind of put that at, you know, the forefront of your mind prior to maybe getting in front of a task that you don't want to do, but you can do, that other people can, I think goes a long way in actually getting that task done.
I would like to switch themes for a moment, and let's talk about what people aren't looking forward to this Thanksgiving. Let's talk about the stressors. Let's talk about the things about Thanksgiving that cause some people to dread, or that people dread in general. What are some of those things? So that way maybe we can help people.
Driving.
What?
Driving.
Driving. Okay.
I said family.
Family, yeah.
Families that don't know how to cook. I'm just
What
kidding.
aspect of family? What
That's also a
family
good one.
aspects are we talking about?
To be sort of generalized, I think a lot of people stress over either sort of managing a big family event where you've got a lot of people coming over and have to prepare and cook and host and all that stuff, but also maybe seeing family members you would rather not see and be in like tense situations where emotions run high and arguments are happening and politics comes to the dinner table and food's flying all over the place.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
me and my family, it's more for me. I've reached the point where I don't even do holidays, like, because there's this like divide that happens because my parents are divorced. So it's like if I choose one, the other one's gonna be pissed. If I choose this one, that one's gonna be. So I just go, I'm not choosing anybody. Holidays are out.
Here,
And yeah,
I agree. Here's a tool that if you kind of want to avoid some of those aunts and uncles, I don't know, maybe just again, politics came up. There's a group of people that probably aren't going to speak politics with you. I know that's a big one. Just in the holidays, during the holidays, hang out with the kids. That's a tool that I like.
They are way
Hang out with
cooler.
the kids.
Sit at
Yes,
the
go
kids'
sit at the
table
kids'
and indoctrinate them with your own politics.
I think we can adopt coaching tools, right? We can take our coaching tools and we can apply them to these stressful situations, I would imagine. Like if we're in a situation where people are at dinner and, rather than getting in a space of judgment, right, we can use our flex into our coaching, empathy, open mind muscles and start asking questions, instead of disagreeing and starting that argument. I mean, one of the greatest ways to actually convince people of your winning argument is to be curious about theirs first and to ask more about theirs first and ask them to explain their points first, because then they become more allied with you essentially and are more willing and open to hear your side. So be willing to be curious and not just be defensive might help you out in those situations if politics come up. Ask questions and be curious about them instead of having an opinion, really. Right?
One of the tools that you sent over, I can't remember exactly which one, but it was about like assumptions and sort of investigating the assumptions.
And assumptions are judgment, yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, I think one of the things that they said was that we judge ourselves by our intentions, we judge other people by their actions. In the course of these sort of conversations with other people, perhaps it would be best to be curious and ask, okay, so like you did or said this, what was your intention when you did this? For one, because it assumes that they voluntarily did it, and there's a reason behind it, and you are curious to know why. And you say it without like a snarky accent, like
yeah. The thing is, you got to keep your emotions under.
But yeah, so sort of investigating without judgment and having a conversation instead of just going on the attack, because you might be the greatest coach in the world with your clients, but as soon as your family's in the room, you might just be on the attack, forgot everything you learned. So the coaching tools you learn to help with clients can be used for good on your family members without them even knowing it's coaching.
Who knows? You might learn something. I mean,
yeah, go in with an open mind instead of, you never know, right? Your family members can change too. And if you go in with that open-minded approach, that coaching approach, go in like a coach. You're not going to, won't have that emotional. You'll be open to learning, being curious, being and learning about your family, and then your family's going to be fantastically happy because you're asking all kinds of questions about them, and they get to talk about themselves.
So someone comes up to you and says you're asking way too many questions.
This is a no question asking family here.
Within that space, what other stressors may come up? What other reasons do people not like Thanksgiving?
They've got nothing to be thankful for.
Well, there are people out there that don't have families to go have Thanksgiving with. They don't have people to, so it's a big moment. That's a big reminder of what they don't have, of vacancies in their lives. what could somebody who's struggling with that do to fill that void? I mean, my first thought is, of course, to just to make it your own holiday.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask. Oh, go on.
Did you say get drunk, Kyle?
No, I was going to say Jerome was even talking about this earlier, not making the comparison of if you got a new car, don't compare yourself to the person that got the new Tesla next door. Just because you see someone posting pictures of this lavish turkey Thanksgiving and you can't afford that or you don't have the family to go and celebrate that, be thankful that you can maybe even start your own tradition with who you have and who you're with. It could be a new, you could be learning and growing yourself by just practicing that gratefulness space.
I was just thinking, take it one step further, even take a moment and think about who you maybe have left out of your life, or who you have maybe looked past or said no to, or that maybe could be in the same situation, and reach out to them, and you guys can be grateful for each other. Maybe there's somebody else that you could be out there in a similar situation that for whatever reason you had blown off or not paid any attention to, and maybe this is an opportunity to reach out to that. And that's what, there's also lots of people that go to do charity on holidays and things like that, where they go to soup kitchens and things like that, and it's a great way for them to fill their cup without having to have the giant family dinner, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was going to ask as well, if you know somebody who is suffering from a case of ingratitude, and maybe they've got, rightly so, they're just down in the dumps, everything's gone wrong this past year, and they've got nothing. It doesn't seem like they have anything to be grateful for, and they're bringing the mood down. It doesn't help to just say, "Hey, you should be grateful." Like telling somebody to be grateful is not a good move.
No.
How do you help someone out like that?
Cheer up, man! Why don't you smile?
It's not our job. It's not our job to make someone anything. And if they're not feeling it, all I can do is love them in the moment, be with them, and let them be who they are.
That can be like such a downer, though. That person that's
Life.
like always in victim mode, always complaining, everything is negative. How do you manage that? Because after a while, I just want to slap them.
Eeyore is lovable nonetheless.
What was that?
I said Eeyore is lovable nonetheless.
You just hug Eeyore and just say, "Shh, quiet, stop speaking."
No, Eeyore's like, please give me my personal space.
Is there a way to bring gratitude to the ungrateful?
Probably, but I mean,
not as a coach.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're not fixing anyone as a coach.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about in a generalized space, just
could we
speaking
always
about
could we all? I mean, they're one of those always people. Couldn't we all? Is that
yeah,
always? Is it always like this?
Yeah, exactly. But if they are always like that, at least a good, let's say for example, 9% of the time, enough for us to say always. Just again in a generalized space, I think you've got to just if you love this person, I would say allow them to express themselves. There's a lot of times where maybe they're not being ungrateful. Maybe they just maybe they love you so much to the point you're the only one getting this because they love you, they trust you, they confide in you, and they want to, express themselves to you. They don't feel comfortable doing that anywhere else. I don't know that it's really, like Lisa said, our job to fix them. I don't know that it's always possible to do that. But again, if it's someone that you appreciate and you know that they appreciate you, I think maybe just be mindful of maybe they're not just being ungrateful. Maybe you're there because they need you and they're grateful of you in that moment to be there. So I don't know if that's kind of a weird conundrum to kind of scrap through, but I think that could be potentially something that, you might be dealing with for someone who is quote unquote always ungrateful.
What if, it's not that I feel like everybody's ungrateful. on Thanksgiving. Like
what if
I slaved away in the kitchen all day. I cooked this damn turkey for 15 hours, and now one person has thanked me.
So you're the people pleaser, and you feel like you're owed gratitude in this sort of scenario, hypothetically speaking.
How do you? I mean, what do I do to get out of that headspace? Do I say, "Thank me, please"?
I would then ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I doing this so that I am owed gratitude? So that people owe me a sense of like thankfulness or gratitude? Or am I doing this out of the kindness of my heart and goodwill to other people?
Does it have to be either or?
No. No, I'm sure there's a spectrum involved, but to keep things simple is like, why do you feel the need to do these things in the first place? Is it out of a sense of duty?
I would think I would ask what can you do not to put yourself in this situation? Like, who can you ask for help from, or how can you distribute the workload? Essentially, like,
are we asking these questions in a coaching space, or is this
I'm just saying, like, if I'm doing this and it's me and I'm in the one cooking and slaving away, and I'm feeling like people are ungrateful. I would pause and say, these are the questions I have to ask myself. So how is this my fault? And how can I make it better in the future? And that's what I would do in that, because really, clearly, is it that my family just sucks and I need a new one? Possibly. So then I start to workshop those. Okay, this is what I have to do to get a new family.
I see.
Except all families seem to fall into those categories.
Is it a communication then barrier where you're not communicating with your family how much you've taken on, and that there is no gratitude because I'm the only one cooking, and maybe next year you can hand out other cooking items. You do the turkey, you do the salad, you do the green beans, etc., whatever you have to your dinner table. And that way people feel grateful. Okay, I did this and I know how long it was cooking. Or you can, redistribute the tasks, but it's the communication that's not being addressed because nobody knows how that person's feeling and nobody has discussed it.
I think it's a common thing is in this is people sort of over promising themselves during the holidays. It's a common theme. Like I know people, especially if you're in a couple and you're both have large families that live near enough that you can visit them, but not far enough that it's possible to visit them. So I've watched my brother just go from like family member to event the whole day spent driving, eating, and that's exhausting. And so I mean, myself, I would encourage people to be willing to say no, but we won't make it for dinner, but how about we do something special 2 days later? And set up, because Thanksgiving doesn't have to always happen on Thanksgiving. You can, make a special time anytime with other people.
Yeah,
I show gratitude one day of the year.
We talked about what is gratitude. Why don't we talk about what is Thanksgiving? Huh? How about that?
Well, now we're going to get into a deep not even like a historical debate that could be.
Yeah, it's more like a political, historical.
Very fast.
But basically, you can practice a form of Thanksgiving, or the aspects of what we're talking about. It doesn't have to be for just Thanksgiving. It can be for literally any holiday, family gathering, whatever.
You can only watch Charlie Brown's The Great Pumpkin on and around. Seriously, the Peanuts films can only happen in the right time period with their respective holidays. You can't go.
If it's May and I walk in and you're watching The Great Pumpkin, there's an issue.
So now I want to dance like a Charlie Brown character. So much of my life.
What about Thanksgiving time for your business as a coach? What if
things handle the holidays? People want to take time off. Clients may not want to work on their workout goals, and they just might want to get fat.
I like Ian.
Hi, Ian. Hello, Ian. Hi. I know Ian.
Giving equals bang bang. Give me your land.
That's exactly how Thanksgiving happened.
I've got like I've got so many jokes that I'm just not gonna say right now, but I appreciate that someone else will know.
So,
Yeah.
but clients may have more trouble reaching goals. They might have more trouble. Things. I mean, holidays get in the way of plans. They just do, right? Not only that, but we might want to take time off, and we might meet with our clients every week on the dot, every Thursday, 4:00. What do we do with our appointments? What do we do with our clients? What do we do with time off, with goal setting? Does it all take a break? What happens?
I think there's got to be a space of transparency there where, both of you guys have to come to an understanding as far as what's going to happen around this time. Because with that you mentioned, yeah, there are, people who would like to take a break around this time. Things do slow down. I think as a coach, you again have to have that conversation with your client and kind of ask them how things are looking for maybe the next month or two. And then also on the same note, letting them know how things may look for you. I think this kind of, again, just comes down to potentially setting up some sort of maybe it doesn't have to be as deep as this, but scheduling things on a calendar, kind of blocking out what's available for you and what's available for them, and again being transparent about that. And then I think also what's really important is right before going on that break, making sure that maybe there's some goals that they want to focus on, tapping into those, and because that may be an extended amount of time, make sure that if they want to work over that period of time, they're still having that as something that they can put down and write down as goals that they have when you guys do return. You can speak about those, and that might be an exciting space. Because again, like you mentioned, if you guys typically meet a week every week, of the month, and then you guys go and don't see each other for maybe a month, that may be a very interesting space to kind of delve into. As far as how did you do without me? How are you doing with me? In comparison. So.
What are so my marketing brain alarms go off with what we can provide our clients with, or maybe potential clients even. What are some things you can think of as a coach that maybe I could put out in my marketing as like freebie kind of stuff during this time of year that could help them? One example is, how to manage holiday stressors, kind of the things we're talking about now. And there's lots in regard to that maybe could be beneficial to coaches looking for clients. Oh, it's like the brains are
so like holidays in general, but we can target Thanksgiving. We discussed some of the pain points of Thanksgiving in the first place, mostly about like family issues and like maybe the people pleaser aspect. So during the holidays, if you want to target your audience with their pain points, you could say something like, I don't know, tired of not feeling like you're taken for granted. Feel like you're taken for granted by everyone around you. Coach with me for
the people pleasers. Give them that people pleaser. You can say no during the holidays. I saw Kyle's hand go up. Hi, Kyle.
I love that, but at the same time, gratitude to me, that word is a positive word. It reflects initially. So using gratitude even as a positive and even as a coach, how can I set goals that I'm going to help this Thanksgiving and meet them? If I have to cook this turkey for everybody, or if I have to clean the whole house, or if I have to get ready for a bunch of family or drive, setting goals for a coach for the client and being thankful that you set all of them and you met all of them maybe at the next week after Thanksgiving. So it can be used more as a positive drive at the same time.
So then how do we put that positive drive in for the marketing aspect of like the holidays?
Well, I love that. Like just what he said, you could put out a list of ways to ensure, Thanksgiving success.
Oh, so like actual freebies then.
Yeah, actual freebies.
Okay,
Gotcha. Freebies. Boom, boom, boom. I love it. You could also just give everybody a giant turkey.
That's also true, yeah. Well, if you sign up with me, you get a big turkey.
So need help being more grateful this year? Let's talk about some goals that you can do. Is it volunteering? Is it cooking some turkeys, if that's what it does to make you feel better? Or is it cleaning your whole house and inviting the family over? Or is it making that extra effort? What is the goal that you're going to set Thanksgiving, that you're going to be grateful for yourself the next week after the holidays are over? You're like, yes, I set those goals, I made those goals, and here I am next week, grateful for them.
Ian Barnett asks, How do you set boundaries for folks who are having to cook and clean everything on their own? Well,
so maybe if you know somebody who is creating problems for themselves and taking it and it's stressing them out, and you don't want them to be stressed. I guess you would coach somebody in a way to be a coach themselves.
mm-hmm.
Ask them coaching questions to try to get them to the point where they're not telling this person what to do or, hey, stop putting so much on your plate, but get them to be curious and investigate and be coaches for that person.
Lisa says, what is their motivation? To ask them, what is motivating them? Maybe also ask them, would it be appropriate to ask if they want help?
Yeah.
I think that's a great space to even consider, because it might just be, I need some attention and it goes back to that gratitude, but I'm not willing to give up any of that, right? I still want to clean the house. I still want to have the dinner prepared. Maybe I can delegate some things, but at the end of the day, it might just be looking for trying to invite somebody through my complaining to say, "Atta girl."
Well, I know there was one year I almost murdered somebody for snapping green beans for me, because that was what I did. That was my job. And there was a sentimental reason that I did it, but I was very upset. But I could be a control freak in the kitchen. Absolutely.
So maybe to avoid the instance of I'm the only person cooking or I'm the only person cleaning the day of, is talking about it the days before and the goals, and setting those tasks before of, hey, if nobody's going to clean this year, then it's all paper plates.
I want to know what you guys are. Are you guys the sit on the couchers while somebody else cooks? Are you the like in the kitchen cooking? Are you the I am just gonna come in, eat myself silly and fall asleep type? Like where are you guys in the Thanksgiving realm? What kind of human being are you?
I'm the sit on the couch and eat and have a beer kind of guy. Except I will help with the cleaning up, though. I will help with cleaning up, but if people have their things like you, Brooke, about snapping whatever green beans, I don't want to get involved in the process. I don't want to interrupt. I know it's better to just
stay away.
But at the end, if it's time to clean up, then I'll be like, okay, just relax. You did all the work for this. Let me help out a little bit. But I'm also half drunk at this point because I've had,
naturally.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good cleaning job, but I do it because I'm grateful.
Lisa, I bet you're a cook. You were cooking.
Yeah. The cool thing in the house now that we have two families essentially living here, my daughter's family and us. And I'm going to talk about every day. We've got the perfect world. The perfect world is whoever cooks doesn't do the cleaning for the most part. Everybody that didn't participate, they do the cleaning. So that is a win-win. When
Thanksgiving, that's a must.
Yeah.
You have to do it that way.
Yeah. The Thanksgiving every year, and I've been doing this for just a few years. Every year it's like, how can I find more time? Because I love having home cooked. I don't want to go to a restaurant. Like some people will I want to save time. I don't want to go to a restaurant. I want to still have our freshly made, wonderfully prepared food. And yet each year I try to figure out and streamline how not to continue working all day long on Thanksgiving and not to be able to spend time with my family. And I love being with my family. So that's part of where, you guys are talking about coaching myself through the years, is how can I do less and still have what I want, right? And that's where finding out from your client what that means to them. For me, it meant delegating dishes to different people, even if it was just, and now I like you guys are mentioning, and Ian was mentioning in the chat, like there's just some things I don't want anybody else to do. Like I will make pumpkin pie. I may add another pie or not. Pumpkin pie is the thing I do, and I do it the night before. I mean, I have my routines, and that's for me. That's what works. But adding vegetables and stuffing and all that good stuff, everybody can do that. So we do turkey, right? But I have children that don't like turkey. So we also, right? So we've got things to
So
consider.
many bells and whistles and things that you have to come into play, and just for a dinner, I just,
Yeah.
Um,
But it all comes together, and I don't want to say I've perfected it. By no means have I perfected it, but I've come down to where now I can finally spend time with the family and be grateful with them as opposed to all the other tasks.
Can I ask, why do we do this to ourselves? Like, why? I mean, I guess it's tradition. It's in the tradition. We don't cook turkey, a whole turkey, the rest of the year. It just doesn't. It only happens once a year that a whole turkey goes in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
So
Or twice a year.
we gotta have that. We gotta.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
It's traditions. Traditions make us feel what?
I'm gonna start cooking a turkey once a week. I don't know.
Oh, what's really good is turkey soup. Have you ever had turkey soup, homemade turkey soup? It's the bomb.
My stepdad does this thing where he like skins the entire, he takes all the meat off of the turkey, and then he like rolls it up. The stuffing's in it. It's like the most amazing. It's like my jaw droppingly good.
I know why we only do turkey like once in a year, because it's like a seasonal kind of crop where
turkeys are only good. They only come into.
They only come during the fall season, so it's like pumpkins and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the reason.
I wish we would switch turkey out with ham as the main course because I'm a ham guy, or even like something.
We do pulled pork. How about
Jerome,
pulled
where
pork?
are you? Are you cooking in the kitchen, Jerome, or are you?
Oh no! So my family is ginormous. I feel like I haven't yet. So I told you guys, hang out with the kids. I hang out with the kids still. That's because there are no open positions that are yet for me to graduate up towards yet. There's too many people to try and help clean. There's too many people. I'll eat, obviously.
I want Jerome's job.
I know.
Kyle, where are you?
You're muted.
Is muted.
Try again.
I'm not muted.
There you go.
Oh, there you are. Okay, now we can hear you.
Interesting. It depends because I've been bouncing on different families on where I'm at. So if I'm with my parents, it's more of the cleaning role because everything's mostly cooked. I have to bring a side dish, but everything's already cooked. So my role is to clean and enjoy, just be present. But in my partner and being with her family, my role is to definitely be cooking because one day I will be cooking for the family. So I need to learn how to do the turkey. I need to learn how to do the stuffing and everything. So future generations can also learn. So I'm in there, and then I'm not cleaning.
I prefer to cook, not clean.
I like to cook over cleaning. Like I would prefer to cook.
There's one other role that I do as well. This is why I specifically take my own car places sometimes, so that I can get in, eat, say my hellos to everybody, and then get out.
As quick as possible.
I'm not there for the beginning, and I'm not there for the end. I say my hellos, and then I quietly leave.
Cooking is definitely more stressful than the cleaning aspect. There's no rush to cleaning. You're probably already had a few drinks and you have a full belly. But getting everything ready and the preparation, the expectations, and the presentation, heights are heightened, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I gotta go for the cooking. Cleaning, you're not getting, somebody's leftovers spilt all over your lap or anything.
That's Thanksgiving. And cleaning,
as a cook, you get to eat before everybody else, which is awesome.
I'm just not going to do either. I'm going with Anthony's method.
Lazy and ungrateful.
What are you, Brooke? Where's your role in Thanksgiving?
I'm absolutely the cooker. I mean, if I can be. For the most part, for many years, that was I was the kitchen Nazi. Very few people were allowed in. Only certain roles were delegated to certain people.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
But I now pretty much don't do much holidaying. So I will if I do something, it'll probably be driving down to families, eating, and then honestly doing the Anthony thing and running away quickly before things deteriorate. And that's pretty much how it goes.
So no Black Friday shopping for anyone.
Oh no, I'm
No.
anti-Black Friday. Don't even bring up Black Friday.
Ooh, Black Friday shopping.
For one, I live in the 21st century. I order all my stuff
Cyber
Cyber
online.
Monday, right?
Yes.
Cyber Monday. Thank you.
Cyber Monday. Yeah.
Not even Cyber
Well, everybody's
Monday.
going to be home this Friday because they're scared of COVID, so might
There's-
get some good
There's no
deals for
Black.
those
Just
that
don't be
are
Black.
boosted.
Just say no. Poor,
Then you got a bunch of
Just say no.
Go.
Just say no to deals and saving money and bigger TVs.
Be with your family.
Kyle-
People
How
are
about this?
trampling one another. It's like it's a capitalist nightmare. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Add on to Brooke. How about this? How
I did
about-
it. I did it one time. Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna rant about something. You're probably-
I did it one time where I got up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning to
Okay.
go get my younger daughter, Angelique, a kitty that purred that you petted. She played with it for 2
Like a real
hours.
cat?
No, a fake one. It's before we had a cat.
Hmm.
A fake one. And she played with it for 2 hours and then never played with it again. I'm like, I am never doing this again. And from that point on, I never did it again.
Oh,
Go,
no.
Anthony.
You got to shop for yourself. Leave family early on Thanksgiving and get in line.
They
Thursday.
started Thanksgiving Day. Like they start Black Friday
Yeah.
on. It's not even on Friday anymore.
I already got
It's
emails. Black
third.
Friday started 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I was gonna take the extreme stance where we stop buying presents for people forever, and we all just be like, okay, I would have gotten you a gift, you would have gotten me a gift. Let's take that money, either put in a savings account or just buy myself something in the future, knowing
See, I thought you were gonna say like I would have gotten you, and then like you fill in the blank and tell them what you would have gotten, but you
How about
didn't.
this?
actually get
I
it
would have gotten you blank, and they get to fill it in, and then they buy themselves that thing.
Well, I have a lot of things, and I'm always trying to get rid of the stuff in my house. And so like I would prefer to like have anything you were going to get me, have it go towards like making my dream happen, right, or something along those lines. If having like a fund or something where it's like, let's make my dream happen, or let's donate to this, that, or that other. In many ways, sometimes I think that could be beneficial than getting a bunch of tchotchkes on Christmas or something along those lines, especially because I've got too many things already many times. But
No,
Lisa already got me my Christmas present, so I got it and I've used it and I love it. So
What if, because it seems like Christmas and the whole gift giving thing is just a tyranny of the love language of people giving gifts.
a tyranny.
Somehow all the love language people who that's their love language is gift giving, they monopolize Christmas. We need more acts of service, more
Well,
touch
Thanksgiving
base.
is the one for people whose love language is words of affirmation.
Right,
So-
What are the other love languages?
acts of service.
Okay.
And then there's Valentine's Day.
Time.
That's the touch one, yeah.
Don't start me on
Time.
Valentine's Day.
Time.
I only celebrate St. Patrick's Day, which is
That's
also
New
one
Year's.
holiday.
That's it. That's all the love
All right.
languages.
So before we go, because we're about done, I would like to hear everybody's turkey impression.
Oh, man.
Does
Lisa, go! Do it again! Gobble! Yes. Who's next? Anthony.
okay.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
There you go.
Then, Jerome, are you ready?
Okay, I'll try.
Yes. And Kyle.
Wait, I want to hear Brooke go first.
Yeah,
It's terrible. I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah, that's why
yes,
I'm
you
not
do
going
too.
until
I
Brooke
know,
you
I
goes.
can't give him the spotlight and then step
I
away
wanna
from it.
make a hand, like a gesture, like.
Okay.
Mm.
Come on, Kyle. It's all
Yeah, the spotlight's on you.
The Turkey Olympics.
Go, 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 go.
There you go.
I think you gotta do like a SpongeBob, like
Do that. Like, how do you go? I can't do it. I can't do it.
Kyle, your turkey sounds like it's been at the gym. That was-
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
Gobble,
funny.
gobble, gobble.
Or it's
Gobble.
been drinking whiskey. That's what it's been.
I'm here to gobble.
I didn't. Did I hear Jerome's? Did you do one?
Yeah.
You did it.
Well, that was my
I didn't hear you.
impersonation of what it sounds like. I don't know. if I
Turkeys are
I think
jerks.
Anthony's was pretty
I know.
good. I'm not sure about Brooks. I think they're in
I said,
competition.
go, 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 go. And then I
Oh.
tried again. I went, oh, I can't do it. I can't make other animal
It's
impressions.
Anthony.
Not that one.
Anthony's the winner.
I agree. I'm glad
Now-
turkeys only come around once a
Turkeys
Sure.
are
once a
jerks.
season.
They are jerks and they smell. So don't feel bad about eating
And
one.
they don't taste good. I don't know why you eat them. No, maybe they can be prepared to taste good, but
They can.
traditionally they don't taste good.
I like
They're
turkey.
delicious.
My children don't. So we usually do pulled pork.
Why do I hear gobbles? Where are the gobbles? Everybody, we're gonna draw. Now, everybody get a piece of paper and put your hand on it, and we're gonna draw turkeys.
I think we've officially derailed from.
Yeah, totally derailed.
I am grateful for
Guys.
all of this conversation.
Yes, thank you guys so much for watching, everybody. We're gonna be back one more time before Thanksgiving, and it will be a little more organized. We're actually going to give you guys amazing questions and actual things you can say and do to make your Thanksgiving wonderful. And I think we should be asking. We should use them ourselves. So next week will be a day of questions. So everybody come prepared with questions, and they can be any kind of question. We can talk about off the wall topics you can bring up that are questions at Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm gonna bring
like-
the political
Black Friday.
questions.
Like,
So
do you
that's-
believe we're really lizard people? You know, that kind of thing. Whatever you want.
So we want you guys out there in what we can't call it television land anymore. What do we call it? Out there,
interweb.
land. Internet land, right?
Mhm.
Meta world.
You come with questions too. Come and share your questions that could potentially make a family meal much more fun, exciting.
Yes, and you can have fun Thanksgiving questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fun Thanksgiving dinner.
yeah.
Nick, say bye. Say bye, Nick.
Goodbye, Nick.
All right, thank you guys
Bye,
for watching. Check out
Bye.
Certified Life Coach Institute. And if you have any questions or have any suggestions of anything, please leave them in the chat. And also check out CertifiedLifeCoachInstitute.com. We certify life coaches in 3 days. And we gobble like turkeys.
Apparently. And Anthony's the winner of our garble.
You definitely won the
better
gobble.
than others.
You were a close second in the gobbling competition. You were close second for sure. All right.